Hello, thank you for joining me. My name is Leah. Today's class we will be doing a Yin sequence that targets mostly the upper body. Yin Yoga is a very slow practice that targets the deep connective tissue by utilizing long holds in asanas. Each asana is held for 3 to 5 minutes in order to allow the deep connective tissue such as fascia to unwind and lengthen. It's good to begin this practice cold, meaning that you haven't warmed up beforehand, in order to bypass the muscle stretch and be able to target the connective tissue. For this practice, you will need 2 blocks and maybe a blanket on hand. We're going to get started in a seated position. Take a block and place it underneath your sits bones. You can take a blanket and place it on top of your block for a little bit of extra cushion and support. Having your sits bone on a block will help to promote uplifting the spine and good posture. It'll help the shoulders to draw down the back body a little bit better. Make sure our chest is lifted and our navel is gently pulling toward our spine. Take your pointer finger on both hands and curl the nail bed into the bed of the thumb and leave the other 3 fingers remaining out. Place your hands on your knees and let's sink into this. Tune into our practice, closing the eyes, drawing a deep inhale, pulling the air all the way into the navel point, to the belly, and long length in the exhale. Allow your breath to be continuous, flowing, connecting your inhales to exhalations. If at any point your thoughts begin to wander, gently bring your awareness back to your breath. On the next inhale, draw the breath all the way below the navel point. Hold it at the top. Squeeze your root lock, pelvic floor, and draw your navel toward the spine as you hold the breath in. gaze is in between the brow. Exhale through your nose. Squeeze the abdomen. Release the air. Hold empty for a moment. Return your breath to normal and flip your eyelids open. Release your mudra of your hands and begin to move your block from underneath of you. This next posture, we're going to need 2 blocks. One block will be perpendicular to the other. We're going to have this lower block underneath our shoulder blades. This is for a nice chest opener. This other block will be for our head to rest on. Line your body up and find that bony ridge that marks the very bottom of your shoulder blade. Once you find it, position yourself so that your bottom of your blade is right above the block that's perpendicular to your body. The top block, the back of your head is just resting on. Your arms are going to just lay by your sides, palms facing up, allowing the toes to rock outward. Once you get comfortable, just stay in this position and allow yourself to sink into it. While you're here, if you wish, you can begin to take your arms above your head for a deeper shoulder opener, having your arms bent to 90 degrees in a goalpost shape. Begin to draw your arms down to your sides and then gently roll to your left side using your right hand to help lift you off your blocks. The next pose we're going to get into is a variation on child's pose. So we're going to sit on our heels here and we're going to have our blocks on the second setting. So this is number 1, number 2, number 3. From here, we're going to lift our hips off of our heels and place our elbows on the blocks. It's going to be right in this little area right here. And then we're going to gently lower our hips down to our heels and draw our hands into prayer above our heads. And allow our chest to come in between our shoulders. Slowly begin to press gently into your elbows and lift your hips off your heels. Take your right hand, place it on your block, and then do the same with your left, and then begin to press into them to lift yourself up. Next, we're going to take thread the needle. So for this pose, we'll just use one block, and we'll use a blanket on top of the block. It's going to be for our head when we rest down here. So let's find a quadruped shape. We're going to have our wrists stacked underneath shoulders and our knees stacked underneath our hips. Take your left arm and weave it underneath your right, and then come down on that right shoulder. Position your block so that it's underneath your left ear. We're just going to keep our hips lifted here. Take your second block and place it right in front of your face, and you can just have it, your right arm resting on the block here. Just gently pushing into that right forearm to deepen the stretch. Begin to press into your right hand to lift your trunk off the mat and release your left shoulder. Shift your blanket block just a little bit to the right, and then take your left block to the left of the blanket. From here, we're going to lift our right arm up, leave it underneath our left, rest our right ear on our blanket, and rest our forearm on the block. Long, deep inhales. Begin to press into your left palm on the block to lift yourself up. Release that right arm. Take a moment to sit on your heels. Take a few shoulder rolls backwards just to loosen up. We're going to move into Sphinx pose, and for this one, we don't need our blocks or our props. For Sphinx, we're going to walk our hands forward and begin to walk our knees back. Lower our hips onto the mat, bending our elbows to lower our chest, and then we're going to bring our elbows underneath our shoulders and flip our palms downward to press into our forearms and our hands to lift ourselves up. Chin is rising parallel to the floor below us. Chest is pulling through, sternum pulling through our shoulders. Gentle engagement, pressing elbows and forearms down. Eyes are closed. Gaze is in between the brow point. Long, deep inhales and exhales. You find yourself sinking into your shoulders. Be sure to push into the elbows and forearms a little bit to lower the shoulders away from the neck, having space in the cervical spine. Slowly begin to press into your hands and remove your elbows from underneath your shoulders to lower your chest down into the mat. We're going to do a shoulder opener now, so let's take the right arm into a goalpost shape to the right side of the mat. Hand is pressing firmly into the mat on the left side. Bend your left knee and begin to rotate over that right shoulder, opening up the front, allowing your top leg to press, allowing your top leg to cross toward the ceiling, maybe placing your left foot on the floor. Using your left hand as a base. Maybe letting it deepen the stretch a little bit further. Slowly begin to draw that left knee back toward the floor, bringing the left hip to the floor, lowering down onto your belly, and then draw your right hand toward underneath your shoulder. Bring your left arm out to goalpost shape. Begin to bend your right leg, rolling over to that left shoulder, using your right hand to gently press into the stretch a little bit deeper if you wish, but being mindful of where your body is today. gently begin to roll back onto your belly, bringing that right knee back to the mat. Draw your left hand underneath your shoulder and begin to press into both hands to push yourself back into a child's pose for a moment. Press into your hands, and from here we're going to find ourselves in a shoelace position for the legs. We'll have our left knee on the bottom, knee pointing toward the front side. Right leg crosses over top, stacking knee on top of knee. If you are here today, that is perfectly fine. Working within your tolerance, within where you are. From here, we're going to take our left arm toward the back of our head and reach it toward behind our neck. Our right hand is going to reach behind our back, and we're going to try to make contact with our fingertips. And if so, allow yourself to make a latch with your fingertips. If you have a strap handy, this might be a good time to use it. You can unwind your strap and grab this strap with the top hand and then reach your other arm back behind you and begin to walk that bottom arm up so it's getting closer to the top arm. Whichever feels best for you today. Allow your chest to lift. Allow your chin to be tucked slightly. Gaze is in between the brow points. Slowly begin to release your grip. And let's move on to the other side. So take your right leg out from over top the left and reverse your cross. If you're using the strap, right hand comes behind your head to grab one side of the strap. Left arm comes behind the back to reach for the strap, and then you can walk that left hand up a little bit to bring your hands closer together behind the back. It'll look like this. If you are not using the strap, just make a hand clasp behind the back, interlacing fingertips, tuning into the posture. Slowly begin to release your grip behind your back, release your arms, and unwrap your legs. We're going to make our way onto our back and take a half moon shape. Lower down nice and slow. Have your knees bent to start and press into your heels to shift your hips toward the left side of your mat. Straighten out your legs and then walk your right heel to the right side of the mat. Then take your left heel and cross it over the top of your right ankle. Arms reach up overhead. And then take your left wrist with your right hand and begin to side bend, pulling with that right arm to elongate the left side of the body. Unclasp your left wrist and uncross your legs. Bring your arms down to your sides for a moment. Bend your knees. Press into your heels to lift your hips, shifting them toward the right side of the mat. Lengthen your legs. Draw your left heel toward the left side of your mat, and then take your right ankle and cross over your left. Right arm comes above head. Left hand clasps right wrist, finding that side bend, that moon shape on the right side. Slowly begin to unwind from the posture. Press into your heels to draw your pelvis back to the center of your mat. Elongate your legs. Let your toes roll outward and flip your palms to face up. Draw your shoulders down the back body and allow yourself to relax into Shavasana. Taking a deep inhale, deep exhale, eyes are closed. Allowing yourself to fully surrender to the posture. Let your mind be as slow as your body's been with me during this practice. If you notice any areas in the body that are still holding on to tension, bring your awareness to that part of your body and allow your breath to travel to that region. Imagine that every inhale is expanding the tension, creating space. Every exhale is allowing for relaxation. Slowly begin to wiggle your toes, bringing life into the body. Roll your ankles, rock your legs from side to side, moving the blood, moving the lymph. Bend your knees, plant your feet flat, and gently lift your hips off the mat. Lower your hips down, begin to move your fingertips, roll your wrists, and then draw your knees toward your chest. Give yourself a tight squeeze. Gently roll to your left side lying position, taking a moment here to let the body settle. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Press into your top hand to gently lift your body up and come to meet me in a cross-legged position to close our practice together. Hands come to prayer in front of your chest. Draw your thumbs to your third eye point. May there be peace in your thoughts. Thumbs draw down to the mouth. May there be peace in your words. Thumbs to sternum. May there be peace in your hearts. Namaste. Thank you for joining me here for this practice today. I hope you found some stillness in the body, some expansion in the connective tissue. If you have any questions about this practice or any suggestions for future videos, please drop them in the comments box below. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel for future yoga videos, information on meditation and spiritual practices. Thank you all so very much. Until next time.